Welcome to today's video, and we are at Yoshio factory to put the SR in the S15 finally. You guys have no idea how excited I am about this, but unfortunately I have some bad news. I crashed the S15 without there being an engine in there, and it's pretty bad. Let me show you. So I've hinted to this in other videos and live streams, but essentially what happened the other day, it was I took the brake booster off because we are putting a brake booster delete kit on, and we found out that the painter had actually not removed that and painted behind it. So I spoke to him and he was like, bring it to me ASAP and I'll paint it that same day for you. So that's what I went to do. Now during the time of us loading this onto the car with no brakes and stuff like that, we had a little bit of a boo-boo. We couldn't put the windows down at first because there was no battery connected. I don't know why we didn't just connect up a battery pack and bring them down, but a friend was helping me push it onto the truck, and this copped the side of the like the locking mechanism for the truck and the tray. Now this is not what I'm talking about when I said I crashed the car. It gets worse. So we damaged the bottom of the door, and I was like, it's not a big deal. We'll get the body guy to fix it when we repaint the car. But then when I was driving the loader truck, and even though everything was tied down, we had a bit of a boo-boo in the rear end. My trunk does not close anymore, by the way. Long story short, the guy in front of me slammed on his brakes really, really hard, and I was in the process of looking in my rear vision mirror to look at traffic, and we were in peak hour traffic, and by the time I noticed in front, I had to slam on my brakes, ABS kicked on, and the whole rear of the car went flying into the tire rack on the truck. And unfortunately, we did a fair bit of damage. The tire rack pushed this whole section forward a bunch. You can see like my lights have been pulled out here because it's pushed it all in here. So it's pretty bad. Both sides, the lights have been kind of destroyed, all the plastic's broken. So we're gonna need new lights, we're gonna need new bumpers and everything, but it is what it is. It definitely wasn't one of my best days. It actually started off with a speeding fine in an area where the speeding sign said 50 kilometers an hour, but the police said that because it was the Olympics, it was meant to be 30 kilometers an hour, and he gave me a ticket. So I was already having a really bad day due to that situation, which I thought was ridiculous, and then the kind of rest of the events on that day, and this was the result. So, like I'm able to laugh about it now because I pretty much just left the S15 here, and I was like, Roko-chan, I need to go home, and I took a day off, and then I went up to Ebisu and we did all that driving and went and competed at MSC. So worked out in the end, but now we're back. We're gonna get everything done, engine in there, we're gonna get the car running, then it's gonna go back to paint and body with the new body kit and stuff like that, and we'll get this all cleaned up and looking good. So the brake booster kit that I've decided to go with is the Chase Bays Willwood one. It's a full kit, comes with everything. They're not sponsored or anything like that, but this is just a kit that a few of my friends have recommended to me, and they said it felt really, really good even without the booster. So this is gonna be going on there, and it's gonna look super, super cool. We got a little brake bias thing there to control the rear brakes and how much strength it goes to them. But apparently the cylinder and everything in this Master is really, really good, and feels good without the booster. So we'll give it a go. Worst case scenario, if it doesn't feel good, I can always switch back to having a booster. It's not the end of the world. But let's get that in there. I'm gonna get under the steering wheel and do all the frustrating, annoying things under there with no space and light. And then I'll start running the lines, get that done, and then we can probably get on to dropping the engine in right away. I do want to kind of pull out a few wires that we won't be needing anymore for old sensors and stuff like that. Taking a quick moment to tell you about today's video sponsor, which is Dafski. And as you can see behind me, we are at the park to check out the beautiful sakura trees in full bloom. And here's the best thing, Dafski is an online store dedicated to selling only the coolest and sickest air fresheners for your ride, and we collaborated together to bring you a Japanese authentic sakura scented air freshener for your car. This clips onto your AC vent, and as you can see, the S15 and the sakura trees are there in the background. It's super cool. I hope you guys love it. Dafski also has an all-new anime series on their website with all your favorite anime characters. Head to dafski.com, go grab yourself some, as well as some of the other air fresheners, and your car can start smelling like it does right here in this park right now. The sakura is seriously amazing. If you don't know what it is, it's the cherry blossom trees here in Japan, and it's a huge seasonal thing. And it pretty much, I mean, I don't know if you can see behind me, but you can see a lot of people under them drinking and having parties with friends and stuff. It's a huge cultural thing. With that, guys, let's get back to the video. So I spent a bunch of time and got everything installed and all the lines run kind of just freely here until I get some new clips and stuff to hold this all up in place. I've gone and kind of tightened everything here, so that's all good when we put fluid in it, but at the caliper side, they're kind of just sitting in there free. I need to work out why like there's some crazy twist in some of the lines. Actually, I think I just kind of got some of that out. But it's pretty difficult like to get the lines to sit how I want them to. And then this line here could have been just a smidgen longer and it would have been good. But otherwise the kit's really, really nice. And I've been doing a whole bunch of like little touch-ups to the engine. I got my valve cover gasket on. I put in all my little new kind of hardware here so it kind of matches with the valve cover and it's not the old rubber ones that just get kind of sad and old and gross. I'm getting rid of any of the silver like heat proofing stuff we used to use, and I'm changing to this black fireproof sleeve stuff. It's just so much nicer and doesn't look as tacky. This stuff is so messy and hard to deal with, and it's super frustrating when you get the pieces all in your fingers and your hands. So yeah, I just grabbed a whole bunch of the fireproofing sleeving stuff. That's looking really good, and I'm pretty much ready now to lift this thing off the engine stand, put the rear main seal in. Well, we can put the rear main seal in when it's in the car, but yeah, I'm probably going to end up dropping the engine in soon. I had to take the hot side off because I'm going to do that in the car. We've got a bunch of fabrication still to do with like the wastegate and stuff, so there's no point putting that on. But I got all my water lines and stuff done in here, replaced any old sad looking hoses using hose clamps instead of the crappy Nissan ones. So we should be all good in the neighborhood there. Time to put this thing in the bay, I think. As you guys just would have seen, we got the engine sitting in the bay. Went so smooth and easy, and we put a piece of cardboard here just because it is a bit wobbly. So when we go to, like, you know, start mounting the transmission and things like that, we do not want that hitting against our freshly painted firewall. So that's just there as a precaution. But man, this looks insane. Like valve cover and stuff with the engine bay looks incredible. Cannot wait to tidy up and get all the wiring harness stuff done. And there's still a lot more work that needs to get done, but at least we're here now. I'm gonna get to work because I want to get that transmission mounted tonight and that propeller shaft all in there. So we're gonna send this thing up, and then we're gonna start putting some bolts in so that this is a little bit more stable. And then we're gonna get that clutch and flywheel installed. Get that beautiful new CD09 370Z transmission in here. I've got the rear main seal installed. I got the little plate here before we put the flywheel on, so don't forget that. Common thing that I have forgotten before in a Miata and had to take the transmission out again to do it. Got my dowel pins in. These are super important for lining up your transmission. And then we've got to install a special pilot bearing here that the import shaft is going to use. So because we're using a combination of CD09 and an S14 clutch kit and stuff like that, what Mazworks recommends with their swap kit is that you use a Nismo roller bearing, and this actually came with the kit, so they included it. It's a really nice pilot bearing actually. This is the first time I've used a roller pin one. We can get it out of a little bag here so you guys can look at it. So it has little rolling pins inside it. It's super nice. I got the pilot bearing installed there. You can see it. It's called a needle bearing, by the way. I got the name wrong. I read the packet later. But all installed, looks perfect and ready to go. Just finished torquing down the flywheel with all the bolts. We got the marks on there so that if ever we're back in here, we'll be able to see if any of these have backed off. Very important thing, and something that just a lot of people do here in Japan. It's just a good way to also have like a mental check so that you know that you've tightened every single bolt that you mark with that. It's kind of just like a triple check kind of thing, but also it's really, really handy, especially on drift cars when you can just look at a bolt or a nut and see that it's moved. I torqued everything as well according to the book with the snap-on torque wrench down there, so I'm ready to start assembling the clutch. I got the alignment tool in here, and as I took everything apart from the clutch, I put it all in the same order in reverse, so I can just go and replicate this now. And obviously, because we're running a twin disc, I do need to be careful to make sure that everything is perfect. This is the first twin disc that I am going to have on my car, which is kind of cool. On any one of my cars, I've got a super single ORC on my Chaser, but never had a twin. Pretty cool, honestly. Look at this thing, piece by piece. It's pretty cool. This is what makes all that kind of like So, some people call it a grinding noise or a chattering. It's like a metal chattering noise that happens when you put your foot on the clutch or first start your engine. It's these extra pressure plates here. This is wanting to slide off. That's kind of, yeah, I'm gonna get someone to help me from here on so this doesn't fall off on me. We have the engine tilted ready for the transmission. Just finished putting the clutch on. I did have a little bit of trouble with the alignment tool because we actually use one that's like a cut-off input shaft from a transmission itself. It actually got jarred and like jammed in there because I guess some of the discs were kind of not perfectly level. So I had to untorque everything, and then I had to go one at a time in the pattern, and just each time just making sure like I was able to slide this in and out and kind of like jiggle it around till it was perfectly centered and that this was free to then slide out once it was all torqued to spec. So it's a little bit of a pain, but it's all done now. Ready to get that transmission in, boy. It's getting late as well. It's nearly 9:20, so hopefully we'll have this in before 10. Check this out. The CD09 is in, and it was so easy. This thing went in so quick. I'm gonna show you a piece of the time lapse of just how fast this thing went in. Oh. Alright. But everything lined up so perfect. Look at this clean shot to the top here. This is beautiful. I am beyond hyped about that. Factory OEM position. That looks incredible. We are now getting ready to put the one-piece drive shaft in, or propeller shaft, or tail shaft, whatever you want to call it. I'm so over it, but we're about to put this in, and then it is good to go. I am so hyped right now. Everything is done. I am so stoked. Propeller shaft is in, all hooked up. And I was just like, man, what am I gonna do with the speed sensor situation? And then I remembered, hang on, this is an S15. Speedo comes from the diff, so I ain't gotta do no weird wiring, dodgy stuff, or any converters. The Speedo's just gonna work. This swap doesn't get any better than that. I am so hyped. It's just hit 10:15. We're getting ready to pack up and head home, but I have the engine, flywheel, clutch, transmission, propeller shaft, everything is sitting in there. All we gotta do now is pipe it all up, give it some fuel, some electricity, some wiring, and this thing will be ripping and chooching. I'm excited. Oh, and some fabrication, can't forget that. We gotta mount the turbo and stuff. That thing looks nice. Yellow headlights, man, I'm telling you, that's where it's at. Just got home, and there is a huge package here that I have actually been waiting for since we first bought the R32 Skyline, and I'm pretty hyped about this. I'm gonna open it and we're gonna show you what we got. As you guys know, I don't currently like the wide body that is already on the 32, and this is a complete wide body over fender kit for the rear. Finding something for the 4 doors is actually very, very hard, and I found this listing on Yahoo Auctions, and I just assumed that it was probably made in Japan, but it looks like the package came from China, which is kind of confusing. But it was the only listing I could find for a decent 4-door Skyline over fender kit. They definitely don't look the greatest. They're going to obviously need a fair bit of work and stuff to make them fit, but should do pretty well. So these are obviously for the doors in the rear. Not too bad. At least they have them black. You know, when they're white, they look amazing because you can't see all the issues in them that they need to be fixed. But when they're black like this, it's easy for your body guy to see what he needs to fill in and fix. This will be the other door. So these will go over the doors, obviously. This kind of like makes it wider like a GTR. And then this is the rear quarter panels here. This is what I really want to check and make sure it's all good. So you got the rear quarters out, and this is what I wanted to check, is that they have this little insert piece here that goes inside like the door where it closes, because that'll cover up the hole that is already there from the over fenders that were put on the car. These really do not look that great. I'm kind of disappointed. There's a pretty big flat spot there, but hopefully the body guy will be able to fix it. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed actually. Like I said, I thought these were made in Japan, and literally as I pulled these out of the box, I saw that they came from China, and I'm a little bit bummed about it. But all the usual makers for this stuff, like D-Max, Uraz, all those guys, no one is making 4-door R32 Skyline body kits anymore. The only ones I could find were replica ones, and I don't want to get it replicas, so... Anyways, we're going to make these work, I guess. We'll talk to the body guy and I'll give them to them and should be okay. But yeah, this is the only 4-door Skyline FRP kit that I could find for the rear to make it wider, like a GTR, and also something for the doors, where it covered both in the rear and brought it out nice and wide. So hopefully my body guy can sort this out. I'm sure he can, but we'll make the best of them. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I definitely didn't get to film as much as I had hoped to, and I was really focusing on just trying to get everything done on my checklist for the day. I wanted the engine in the bay, I wanted clutch and flywheel and everything installed, transmission, and the drive shaft, propeller shaft mounted and installed as well. And we got it all accomplished. I just need to also think about filming a little bit more in the future. So I'm sorry if things went by really quickly, and I wish we went more in depth on some stuff, but I'll make sure tomorrow when we're back there finishing off the build and getting as much stuff buttoned up as we can, that I'll go through in a little bit more depth next time for you and just try to really have that in like my mental checklist. I should be filming this, let's film that. It does take a lot more time though to like be in vlogging mode and filming stuff while you're trying to get the stuff, like the car together. So there are some times that I will put the camera down just so I can get something done. But anyways, I still hope you enjoyed. I hope you are loving how the S15 is looking, like the engine in the bay and stuff. It's all tying together so nice. And before you say it, yes, I know I should have gotten an intake manifold of some kind, like from Plasmaman or Hypertune, but that may not be the final engine that ends up in there, and the intake manifold, if I was to spend money on that, I want to make sure it fits the head that's going in on the engine that's gonna... I've said too much. Anyways, guys, I hope you still enjoyed the video. I'm not gonna lie, I'm also pretty disappointed about being misled with that aero kit we got for the Skyline. I just checked the listing. Nowhere does it say anything about China. I got it on Yahoo Auctions here in Japan. It's a Japanese website, it's all Japanese. Even when they said it was going to take a couple months for it to get made, that's pretty normal for aero parts and FRP parts and stuff like that. So I just assumed that everything was made in Japan, and then for it to come from China and it to be in just quality that it doesn't look anything like the pictures. I'm pretty disappointed. They're definitely getting some negative feedback. I hope my body guy can make that look decent. If it looks horrendous, we'll have to figure something out. But like I said, I'm kind of at a stalemate. There is no other company that makes wide fenders for the rear end of a 4-door Skyline, a 4-door 32 Skyline. All the other places, I spoke to them. They said they don't make them anymore. They didn't sell many. They weren't popular, so they stopped making them and got rid of the molds. So they can't even do a custom one for me. And the only other company I know of that sells them, I don't like it. It looks hideous to me, their style and design. It's not my thing. So this one looked really close to OEM GTR, kind of like wide body look, and that's what I want to go for. So I'm hoping, I'm praying, and I hope you guys are too for me, that the body guy can make them look good, and hopefully we can salvage it. But anyways, enough ranting. Once again, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Smash that like button, write us a comment, and subscribe. Go check out the SAMMIT Raw channel. It's the second channel where I upload content that's, you know, not really suited for the main channel, but we do put interesting stuff there from time to time. The latest video is me doing like kind of a podcast video with you guys and telling you why I think the JDM car market is actually going to crash, why I think prices are going to get cheaper, and how you need to be very careful if you're in the market for purchasing one right now to consider a few different things. Go check out that video. It's linked down in the description. And while you're there, we're trying to get the Instagram account up to 100K. So go check that out as well. Follow me. It's just SAMMIT01. And I will see you all in tomorrow's video back at Yashiro Factory, getting that S15 buttoned up. Peace out, guys. I love you all. See you in the next one. Jamata.